I am a woman and I'm 28 years old, so I left my parents' house a long time ago. I have my own house, a job, and a fiancée to whom I officially got engaged 3 months ago. My parents divorced when I was 16, but they've maintained civil contact and I have good relationships with both of them. My father got with a woman 5 years ago who already had a daughter. She's now 22. My mother got with a man 7 years ago and he has 2 sons, 16 and 19 now. I get along pretty well with my stepbrothers and have always tried to involve them in activities with me, going to the shops, playing video games or board games together, or even just taking them out for a meal. They're good kids and I enjoy their company, so I try to bond with them, and luckily everything is good between us. I tried to do the same with my stepsister, but things never went very well. From what I know, she's had several problems since her father abandoned her, and she still goes to therapy for it, so she's not the friendliest person in the world. I tried for a while to understand her and try to have at least a civil relationship, but it didn't work, so I gave up after the first year. Her mother is a good person and has apologized several times for her daughter's behavior, begging me not to hold a grudge against her, and I've tried to do so despite everything. Just to give you an idea, my stepsister has abandonment syndrome diagnosed by her therapist and is very clingy with her mother, my father, and her boyfriend. My father believes that her hateful behavior towards me is because she sees me as some kind of obstacle that can take my father away from her at any time. He's tried to mediate the situation, talk to her, and have some conversations with her therapist too about it. And we've actually made some progress over the years. Now she's no longer openly against me, and we can even have casual conversations without her giving me the cold shoulder or aggressive responses. However, she still tries to do some spite, even if subtly, to keep my father's attention only on her. I have my job, which took away a lot of my time, so I can't really spend much time with my dad, and we mostly talk through calls and texts. But apparently she has had a meltdown in the past when she saw him reply to a text from me while he was with her. I admit that it's something that bothers me. I can't help it, but luckily my father is able to manage things by giving her the security that he won't abandon her without reducing his time for me. The problem is now, my fiancé and I have decided on a wedding date for the end of May. We told our close relatives 2 weeks ago, and we will soon start making official invitations and sending them to everyone. 2 days ago, while I was at my dad's house and we were talking about when to make the appointment to go look at the wedding dress, I'll bring my dad, my mom, my grandma, and my best friend, so I'm trying to find a day that works for everyone. My stepsister butts into the conversation, telling my dad that she's planning on taking a family trip with him and her mom. My father was a little taken aback by that request in the middle of another conversation and simply said that was fine with him and that they would organise it later. But she immediately said that she'd already thought about where to go and when. Apparently she wants to go to Thailand at the end of May. Yes, the very week that I'm supposed to get married. I got annoyed, but I didn't say anything. It was my father who managed the conversation and told her that she had to choose another date because he had to attend my wedding that week. Let's be clear, I also invited her and her mother. I didn't leave them out, and her mother also seemed happy to have been included. Well, the conversation escalated quickly and she started having an emotional breakdown, accusing my dad of playing favourites, that he didn't love her, that he was leaving her behind, and other things like that. My dad was calm and firm the whole time, explaining to her that she couldn't make such a demand and expect him to agree, so she started lashing out at me. When she yelled at me, "Why does he always have to choose you?" I lost my temper and replied, "Of course he chooses me. I'm his daughter. Who the heck are you?" She froze, shocked, and then ran to her room to cry. Well, I felt a bit bad right after I said that because I know her problems, but I can't deny that her behaviour really bothered me. I mean, what did she expect? That my father would skip his own daughter's wedding to go on a vacation with her? A vacation that we all know she wanted to take the week of my wedding on purpose. My father was also a bit upset by my words, and I apologised to him, telling him that I felt sorry for her and her problems, but I'd tolerated her behaviour for so long that this was the last straw. He said he understood me and would try to work things out with her, but it was clear that I'd hurt him too with my words. I admit I was harsh, but I don't feel guilty for saying it to her. It was the truth after all. But should I have had more consideration for her, letting my dad solve the problem without saying anything? When I think about my father's eyes full of pain, I feel really a jerk. Am I the idiot for reminding my stepsister that she's not my father's daughter? Not the idiot. Okay, this girl didn't become part of your dad's life until she was 17. It's insane that she's still this possessive of him and would try to prevent him from going to your wedding. She's now an adult, and I honestly don't care what her abandonment issues are. She deserved that smackdown. You've tolerated way more than could be reasonably expected of you. I would apologize again to your dad for your reaction, but make it clear that choosing to appease her at your expense would probably damage your relationship with him beyond repair. I would also make it clear to both your dad and his wife that if she creates any issue at your wedding, she will be asked to leave. Any sort of outburst or drama from her will not be tolerated. I would be entirely out of patience. To be honest, after this behaviour, I would uninvite her from the wedding. Stepsister will only cause drama that day out of pure spite. Imagine the tantrum she would get over a father-daughter dance, or during speech time. If someone's stepsister is going to show up in a white dress, it'll be this one. Yikes. Seriously, I can't imagine her not throwing a fit as OP is being walked down the aisle. OP, it's okay to cut her out completely. She's too damn old to be acting this psycho. She needs to be locked up at some inpatient facility until she can get a grasp on reality. Replying to a text should never be a meltdown. Toddlers are more mature than this. Jesus, they need to cut the umbilical cord a bit and make her leave the house or have some type of life away from them, because she's going to be a 60-year-old woman screaming at a coffin saying, "I knew you would leave me." My 38 female aunt, 60-ish female, hosted Thanksgiving this year at her fairly large house. She was really eager this year to have my mother's family join this year, including me, my sister, her husband and her kids, because we haven't seen each other in a while. She was insistent that we all stay at her house so we could spend more time with each other. Before I agreed to go, I confirmed with her that I would be able to sleep in a bed, in a room with a door that closes. I'm okay with sharing a bed or a room, but I need an actual bed or a room. I'm the only one of my siblings or cousins who's single or childless or child-free. Because of this, historically, I've been relegated to the living room couch or floor during holidays. It has always sucked. I'm overweight, so I wake up with back pain. I've had air mattresses deflate on me overnight due to a hole. I can't fall asleep until the younger adult family members finish hanging out at 1 a.m. and then I get woken up at 6 a.m. by someone making coffee. People keep on moving my luggage. I get only a couple of hours of bad sleep and wake up in pain. I've pledged to myself that if I wasn't able to get a real bed in an actual room, that I would get a hotel room. Thanksgiving week arrives and I'm pleasantly surprised that I was assigned a room and a queen bed to myself. All of the adults had beds they shared with their SO. It was great for the first night. But the day before Thanksgiving, my cousin, 35 male, arrives with his girlfriend, 28 female, who is 6 months pregnant, as a surprise. He had originally told my aunt he wasn't going to be able to make it because of work, but he just wanted to surprise her. But now there isn't enough beds for everyone. My mother said that I could give up my bed to the couple and sleep on the air mattress in the den, but my aunt insisted I stay in my room. My cousin ended up on the couch and his girlfriend on an air mattress. My mother is now lecturing me about being a bad guest. She thinks I should have insisted that my cousin and his girlfriend take the bed, especially because she's pregnant. Am I the idiot? Edit, my mom was sharing her bed with my father, and they're both in their late 60s. My mother voluntold me a lot. She still thinks I'm a jobless teen. I try to set boundaries, but she just leaps over them because she thinks she knows what's best. I've accepted that she won't acknowledge boundaries, so I have to hold fast when she ignores them. It's a thing I've been working on with my therapist for a long time. Not the idiot. Yeah, you have a mum problem. Your aunt is a good host who understands that you specifically called ahead to make sure you had what you needed. Your mum is a bad guest trying to put pressure on another guest, which could make her host look bad. Personally, I don't know why the kids aren't the ones sleeping on the couch and air mattress, but regardless, their cousin should have made arrangements to make sure his girlfriend didn't end up on the air mattress, like a hotel room. Exactly, this isn't even about the OP being tubby. The cousin was stupid for failing to inform anyone he was coming home for the holidays and bringing a pregnant woman. Next time he'll say something instead of trying to be the center of attention. But he just wanted to surprise her. This is what should have been said to your cousin. Surprise! We don't have a bed for you or your pregnant girlfriend. Guess you should have thought this one out and planned better. I would worry about this relationship. This thoughtless doofus put his pregnant girlfriend on the floor. Why didn't she speak up and tell him they need to go to a hotel? If this is his version of taking care of his partner, she's going to have a hard time. My male 44 wife, Cynthia, female 41, and I have been married for almost 15 years. I raised her older children as my own. We have 2 kids together and one that she just gave birth to, but I won't sign the birth certificate until I get a DNA test. Back in 2014, we had a huge crisis due to her infidelity. Her affair partner was her supervisor, and I only found out when she was abruptly fired and the company filed a case against her for allegations that I won't discuss here. Her supervisor was a co-defendant. She had to come clean about the whole thing, including having had an affair that lasted 2 years. I completely lost all trust in her. I requested paternity tests on our kids together, they are mine, got a lawyer and moved out. I eventually forgave her and tried to move on because the pain of breaking up our family and not seeing the kids every day was unbearable. We had a very good run until now. Our relationship felt stronger. The intimacy was great, I felt like she was the woman that I fell in love with, and was very happy that I gave us another chance. Years ago, her best friend Dana, female 42, cut her off. They were friends since grade school, but Dana abruptly ended the friendship, changed her number, and even blocked me and our older kids everywhere. Cynthia expressed sadness about it for years and often talked about Dana like a true sister. When my wife got pregnant with this last baby, she got very depressed about everything. Dana was our go-to person in case of emergency, so I thought maybe some type of closure would help. I managed to get Dana's contact information from a friend in common and asked if she'd be willing to talk. To my surprise, she was interested. The conversation wasn't what I expected. She called me a flying monkey and said I ought to be ashamed for enabling my wife. She said she was absolutely fed up with Cynthia and that she abandoned the friendship because she got tired of feeling like a tool, always having to do favors and being generally at my wife's service. She said she was unable to share anything because my wife only talked about herself and that my wife failed to even thank her for gifts and other things, but kept raising the bar and asking for more and more stuff from her. Dana mentioned having attempted a slow fade, but my best friend Gary, male 48, stepped in and it put her off tremendously. I didn't know this. I didn't know that Gary was sent by my wife to talk Dana out of restricting their time together when her best friend became distant, and that he pressured her and tried to force her to contact Cynthia, and that this resulted in a complaint against him because his messages became menacing, and he hinted at sending her spyware. I know Gary can be intense, but never like this. He works in IT, so the spyware part is not entirely impossible. Dana and Gary never had any contact prior to this. Dana cut everyone off out of distrust and because she did pursue a complaint against him with the authorities. She sent me the evidence, the court case number and receipts. I'm hurt because not only did he get in trouble for trying to help my wife, but he actually got into a serious situation and it was kept a secret from me. I confronted him and he said he was just trying to help. I confronted my wife and she said she was desperate because Dana had always been her main support system. This did it for me. I don't care how many times my wife says nothing else was going on, I have no way to erase the idea that they might be hiding other things. The fact that Cynthia managed to get Gary to do something that he knows is illegal and that he went too far trying to please her makes me wonder about things. Also, during our entire conversation, Dana insisted that Cynthia is a black hole of a person and that she was disgusted that not only my wife had been using her for years, but wouldn't think anything of engaging third parties to enable herself to keep extracting benefits for whoever she wants. To make matters worse, I asked if she knew that my wife had cheated, and she said yes, and that it played a part in her disowning me. I will not even be able to go back to talking with Dana because she made it clear that she wants nothing further. Back in the day, I thought Gary looked off, but when I asked, he said it was about him separating from his ex and that he was bummed out. I talked to Cynthia about it. I told her that I reached out to Dana and what she said. She looked horrified. We went over that for days until I couldn't take it anymore and asked if she and Gary had any time of inappropriate involvement. She reacted, angry, and seemed very offended. Also, now I feel that maybe her depression over Dana wasn't real. Maybe she wanted to use that so I could accommodate her with whatever she wanted. I requested a paternity test on the baby and she flat out said no. She threatened to divorce me. This is why I moved out weeks before she gave birth. I refused to drive her to the hospital or be in the birthing room. All I'm asking is for confirmation that it's my child and she isn't acting cooperative. She tried to deny Dana's complaint to the authorities despite me offering evidence. Gary has apologized for keeping secrets, but he's denying ever sleeping with her. I'm anxious, but sometimes I get very numb and wonder if I'm being crazy. I understand that Dana was very right to act the way that she did, but I have no evidence of cheating or an affair between Cynthia and Gary. This has affected my health, and sometimes I feel that the less I see or hear from Cynthia, the less chances to get an anxiety or panic attack. Obviously, my family knows that we're separated and are just showing divided opinions. Some say that I was impulsive and that I'm jumping to conclusions. They didn't know about her cheating years ago. I'm not meeting the new baby until she can prove my paternity. She's having health issues related to post-birth. I'm present for my kids and haven't skipped on my duties, but told her to either have a relative come help her out or move to their place temporarily because I will not be helping her in any way until this is resolved. She says that I'm being abusive and that being alone in the maternity ward was humiliating. Am I the idiot? Edit, my wife says she won't agree to the DNA because I'm ruining our marriage. Wife says I'm ruining our marriage. I laughed so hard at this. She is the one who ruined the marriage with all her lies and her cheating. Your marriage is over, dude. Get a divorce. Make sure to lawyer up. Request a paternity test through the courts. As long as you're married, you'll be named the father on the birth certificate and handle all communications through a parenting app. Keep everything written to gather as much proof as you need. Agreed. I feel for OP. His wife's actions has a cloud of deception, mistrust and numerous issues over their noggins. Have a court-ordered paternity test done. His wife cheated before, then she may have cheated again. OP needs peace of mind. His wife's deception ruined the marriage itself and it had nothing to do with OP. Sorry dude, but there's no coming back from this level of mistrust. I really don't understand how much you don't know this woman. It's scary. This woman is poison. Even if the child turns out to be yours, you can't trust her. She's a snake. Oh, and Gary is not your best friend. Whether he slept with her or not, he's not your friend.